locomotives. Pulling me to 125th Street, train 839. Just got off train 839 here at Harlem 125, and look what we got on this. The 208 Beach Ball. Rode this from Grand Central, and I didn't get jet lag. Good start. Hang around here for a few hours. On the way in, I passed the 201 on 866 from Poughkeepsie and the 217 Penn Central on equipment, so they should be coming out. Here we have a train coming in from Connecticut. 211 I heard is in Harmon. Hopefully he'll come down on a deadhead and go out on something. 333 we have 343 for North White Plains. He'll get there maybe in the next century. And over here is 741 for Croton Harmon, local. It's a real warm day here in New York City. It's about 78 degrees right now. Well, here's equipment coming in at 335. Ah, look what's on the back of this. $229, one of 4 New Haven Heritage units. He'll likely be coming out, so hopefully we'll see a nice Heritage parade this evening. Harlem 125th Street Station is one of the premier train watching spots in the New York City area. 4 tracks from left to right. You got 3, 1, 2, and 4, and everything that goes in and out of Grand Central goes by here. You're talking about 500, 600 plus trains on a weekday. And looking south towards Midtown Manhattan, approaching is train 1342 to Stamford at 343. One of the things that's nice about Metro North is they always have to sound their horn when approaching a station. Kawasaki M8 MUs, very diverse cars. They can do a lot of things. Those dominate on the Connecticut bound Metro North trains. There's equipment out of High Bridge for Grand Central, M7s, M7As. See some M3’s too. 349 approaching is train 1740 bound for New Canaan, Connecticut. First stop is Rye after here. Permanent trains are always short. Well, why not? Their platforms are very short. And approaching now at 3:53 is train 943, bound for Wassaic, 82 miles from Grand Central. Escort Flyer bringing up the rear. Well, on track 1 is train 560. This is one of those patented blueprint North White Plains clunkers. He makes every single station to Grand Central. It's only a 24-mile run from North White Plains to Grand Central, but it feels like 244. It's a 766 from Croton Harmon heading for Grand Central. Coming in at 3:57 is train 662 from Southeast to Grand Central, complete with a set of Bud M3’s. I know some conductor who foams at the mouth at those things. You know who you are. Here comes 841 to Poughkeepsie at 3:58 with something interesting on him. Central Heritage Unit. First time I've ever seen that. It's a little darker than the Conrail 201. Arriving on 3 is train 545, North White Plains. Not quite the local, makes Mount Vernon West the next stop after here. That's a bit better. Sounds weird hearing somebody say express to North White Plains. That freaks me out. But he eliminates all the Bronx stations after here. Well, we're still in Manhattan, but no Bronx stations. equipment coming down from Highbridge Yard, heading for Grand Central. It's 1442 to South Norwalk at 410. And that's 345, North White Plains clunker with M3’s. That'll get a good workout. I heard a little mistake there. Did you catch it? Well, we have a New Haven train stopped on 3 as we have a set of M3’s coming in from Highbridge on a deadhead move to Grand Central. Gotta get these classics. Trains everywhere. The 2 deadheads of M7As for Grand Central. Ah, more M3's. This is train 745 bound for Croton Harmon. After here he makes an employee stop at Highbridge and then Yonkers and all stops. This place is crazy. M3 that arrived on track number 1 was 562, a clunker from North White Plains. When you look at the list of the stations from top to bottom, that is one long list.
Rochelle, Rye, Portchester, Greenwich, Hotspot, Riverside, Old Greenwich, Stamford, Marianne, South Norwalk, East Norwalk, Westport, Fairfield, Fairfield Metro, Bridgeport, Stratford, Milford, West Haven, and New Haven. The train also has a connection to Waterbury and Bridgeport for Derby Shelton, Estonia, Seymour, Beacon Hall, Norman House, and Waterbury.
Yeah, in addition to the trains, we'll get some of the train announcing done by this young lady. they do run 12-car trains on Metro North. That's a deadhead.
Next on track number 4, P426 to Poughkeepsie, making from Harlem, Portland, East Hill, Garrison, Amber, and Poughkeepsie.
She's announcing train 843 to Poughkeepsie coming shortly. That 12-car train of M3’s you saw came down from North White Plains Yard. The leader was the class unit of the M7As, 4000. And arriving at 425 is train 843 to Poughkeepsie, home of Smith Brothers Cough Drops. At least it used to be. P32-203 looks like it's been in the Korean War and World War II. Here's 645 coming in on track 3, 430. Getting blocked out here is quite commonplace. Deadhead in. Well, this is train 870 from Poughkeepsie to Grand Central at 432. Gonna have a couple of North White Plains bound trains coming in. One of them is a sort of an express, makes Mount Vernon the first stop after here, and right behind him is a clunker. I want to hear the woman announce that train. Over on track 3 is 647 bound from Mount Kisco, arriving with M7's.
434 to North White Plains, making stops at Mount Vernon West, Fleetwood, Longstone, Tuckahoe, Crestwood, Hartsdale, White Plains, and North White Plains.
Yeah, that's for train 547, sort of an express. You'll have a local a few minutes behind them. There's 547 arriving. North White Plains Express makes Mount Vernon West the next stop with M3's. Now as 547 is loading, approaching is an equipment train from Croton Harmon. You'll have a New Haven Heritage number 228 on the rear. Never get tired of seeing those. Pretty soon you should hear this announce train 349 in North White Plains, one of the clunkers. She's got a lot of work to do enunciating.
On track number 3, D440 to North White Plains. Making stops at Melrose, Fremont, Florida, Botanical Gardens, Williamsbridge, Woodlawn, Wakefield, Mount Vernon West, Leawood, Rossville, Tuckahoe, Crestwood, Scarsdale, Hartsdale, White Plains, and North White Plains.
That's for train 349. Good job. I'd get exhausted announcing that train. They're off to the races, folks. The M3’s from Bud, built in the 1980s, are alive and well. Here's 749 for Croton Harmon, 454. Is this place busy or what? What do you think, folks? Amazing. Train on the left is 564 from North White Plains, and the train on the right is 770 from Croton Harmon. 455, the M3's just keep coming. It's given the illusion that Metro-North has a much larger fleet of M3’s than it really does. Well, Metro-North got 142 M3’s. I don't know how many are still in service, though. And we have a train at 458 with number 221. deadhead diesels going into Grand Central. They come from High Bridge, Croton Harmon. They fuel the locomotives at Croton Harmon. Well, approaching now on track number 3 is train 753, Croton Harmon local. They generally will use track number 4 because it provides more ease of access to the Hudson line at CP 5 without interfering with other trains on the Harlem and New Haven lines. But this one is operating on 3 tonight. About 500 plus revenue passenger trains through here during the week, but it seems like they run an enormous amount of deadheads on top of it. Incredible numbers. More Grand Central bound deadheads on 4 and 2 at 5:10. Incredible. That's for North White Plains. And that's for Southeast. I've been here many times, but I've never seen it this frantic in all my previous visits.
514 to Mount Kisco, making stops at Scarsdale, Hartsdale, White Plains, North White Plains, Valhalla, Hawthorne, Pleasantville, Chappaqua, and Mount Kisco.
Well, track 1 here is going to get quite busy with outbound trains. First one up here is 653 from Mount Kisco. 849 at Poughkeepsie. The next stop is Beacon, as well as train 851. The train to Beacon will be using track number 1 also. The deadhead coming in. Approaching on track 3 at 5:17 is train 1848 from Grand Central to Danbury, Connecticut. One of 4 through trains to Danbury. And he's got something colorful on the point. Looks like it's appropriately a New Haven Heritage unit. That's where Danbury is, in the heart of the old New Haven. that Jenny percolate. Ah, here comes 849, Poughkeepsie Express, Beacon the next stop. And he's got the Conrail number 201. Off of 3's going to Crestwood. Oh, what a beautiful day this is, man. Picture perfect. Picture perfect day with Metro North action to boot. As this M7A waits to head to Grand Central, arriving on track number 1 is train 851, bound for Beacon. P32s aren't the prettiest locomotives in the world, but they sure do a nice snap, crackle, and pop. About 12 or 13 minutes, we should have 853 going through here without stopping. That's the Super Express I rode on several weeks ago. Grand Central to Poughkeepsie. First stop after Grand Central is Beacon. Arriving on track number 1 at 5:32 is 7:55. It's a Croton Harmon Express, makes Tarrytown the next stop. There's 755 waiting to depart with his M7As. One of the speedier Croton Harmon bound trains. I can't say the same thing for the train that's following this, train 757. It's not exactly like a speedy Boeing 757, as this train 757 makes every single station stop from here to Croton Harmon. It's a clunker in its own right. Arriving at 5:33 is train 953 for distant Wassaic, the upper end of the Harlem line. Well, here's train 757 on track 4 headed for Croton Harmon. It's going to be making 757 stops to Croton Harmon. Seems that way. Track 4 is 461 to Greystone, and there's a Railfan on board enjoying that Railfan window. I have yet to get a daytime head-end ride on a Metro North M3. One of these days. Well, arriving at 5:43 is train 1556 to New Haven. Haven't really gotten too many M8s today. M3's headed for Grand Central, 544. This is 368 from North White Plains to Grand Central. All right, that horn announces Red Bull Express, train 853, Grand Central Poughkeepsie. First stop after Grand Central is Beacon. He does not stop here. I've been here many times over the years, but this is probably the most enjoyable experience I've ever had here at Harlem 125. Beautiful weather, the unbelievable train action. I mean, multi-trains, drag races, heritage units, those roaring P32s. I don't think I could top today. M3's 557. New Haven's pulling out. Both of those trains are headed for New Haven. Here comes 857 for Poughkeepsie at 6:03. That train I said was one of those 3500 series trains was actually a 1500 series train, making Fairfield the first stop. Another outbound M3 at 6:07. Got a New Haven on the back of this. All the M3's. There was another deadhead for Grand Central. I see a lot of headlights coming out of the Park Avenue tunnel down there. It's 1568 for New Haven at 6:16. New Rochelle. The race is on. Oh, what a horn on him. 206. That was 776 from Croton Harmon to Grand Central. What a show the M3As have put on tonight. And they keep on coming at 627. 878 for Grand Central from Poughkeepsie, departing at 6:28. Down the Park Avenue Viaduct. Shortly he'll be ducking into the tunnel. Diesel Mania, the train scooting by in the background was 1868. Grand Central to Danbury, first stop in the Roden Heights. And the train stopped in the station is 867 to Poughkeepsie.